Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaara. In this video, I want to talk about 10 Lattafa fragrances that I personally consider 10 over 10s. My criteria of a 10 over 10 fragrance from Middle Eastern brand is any fragrance that has some, characteristics, including the complement factor. Not only that, including the quality of the material or the juice. I know these are deep fragrances, so I cannot vouch for how the materials are sourced and how authentic and natural they are, but for what they are, I consider them quite of a quality, somehow when it comes to these compared to some other Middle Eastern fragrances I have come across. So I'm looking at the scent profile, I'm looking at the complement factor, I'm looking at the quality of the juice, I'm looking at the price point, I'm looking at so many of these things before I consider them a 10 over 10. But at the end of the day, the most significant feature I look out for that I consider a 10 over 10 is how good the fragrance smells to me. And the first one I have here is about a year old, and this is going to be Camera Kawa. This to me is one of the 10 over 10s that Lattafa released last year. A flanker to the OG Camera, which I love, but I prefer this slightly over the original Camera. This one is going to be your spiced cardamom and ginger, your vanilla, your candied, fruit. Very beautiful. It doesn't give me anything too much, it is like in the sort of same line as the OG Camera, but this is like an elevated one, it feels slightly elevated to me or to my nose. That I prefer this over the OG Camera, although I will give the OG Camera to a 10 over 10 in my books, but there's something about this, that addition of the ginger, that addition of the kawa, of the coffee, making it a little, more different, a little different, a little more spiced, a little more Middle Eastern. This one, because of the kawa feel, it gives it like a bit more of a Middle Eastern vibe to it without being nothing that's Western trained nose cannot, enjoy. This is beautiful. I love the spices, the gourmand aspect, vanilla, the tonka bean. It feels like amber resonance, thick, rich, gourmand, beautiful, floral, coffee. And I think this one is a solid, a solid, not even like a 9.5. This is a solid 10 over 10 in my book. So Camera Kawa is the first one. I'm not ranking them, so just taking them randomly. The second one I believe is a 10, like a solid 10 over 10 is going to be from the house of Lattafa, Emir, which has been marketed towards men, and I sort of get the fact that it is marketed towards men. I think this is supposedly inspired by a Clive Christian town and country, fragrance, and I have no idea how that smells, but this on its own, beautiful. It's going to give you your bigger malt, your fresh citrus with some woody background, and then I get something like a zesty lemon peel. I get something like a fresh zesty lemon peel to it, and some hints of florals. But the dry down is where I really enjoy this fragrance. Although I enjoy the spicy bigger malt at the top, the dry down feels very powdery and musky and woody, but also quite masculine. You don't get a lot of masculine fragrances being powdery and maintaining its masculinity. This one maintains its masculinity with the powderiness mixed with that woody nuances and the bergamot and the lime zesty feel to it. Very beautiful, and I'll highly recommend this. It's also a compliment magnet even on women. This is a 10 over 10. So Emir from the house of Lattafa is my second choice here. The next one I want to talk about is one that that everybody is raving about now, and deservingly so. Anam from the house of Lattafa, the spiced lavender and vanilla, supposedly a heavy vanilla, which I don't think it is like at par with the OG. Nonetheless, a very beautiful, almost identical interpretation of Burberry Goddess, very beautiful. It is like addictive. It's one of those fragrances you can liberally spray without it being overwhelming. I love this, as you can tell by the dent. I think my previous video I did, a lot of people were like, the dent. Yes, the dent. Just because this one is so good, you can spray liberally. It doesn't overwhelm you in any way. So Anham by the House of Lattafa to me is a 10 over 10. You can use it like I think year round, because it's not as thick. It doesn't give me that chokingly thickness of a vanilla that can be overwhelming in the high heat. So in the high heat, I think you can even wear this one depending on number of sprays you do. So Anham, I believe, is a strong 10 over 10 in my books, with the compliments, the scent profile. This is beautiful. The next one I want to talk about is obviously another Lattafa, and this is Al Jawara. Beautiful biscuity almond. It gives me almond, although the note structure doesn't say almond. It gives me almond. I swear there is almond somewhere here, either the OG almond or some almond milk. I swear there's something like that here, because that is what I get. Plus that, a bit of a like some marshmallowy vibe, some whipped cream vibe, something fluffy, biscuity, cookie dough feel. This is beautiful, and I swear to the fact that I get almond in this, although the note structure for this is like completely a throw off as to what you should expect. I don't get anything from the original note structure, but all I get is a very beautiful milky almond, biscuity vibe, vanilla, whipped cream, marshmallow. Very beautiful. And if it even feels like a slightly bitter almond, somewhere, in the mix. So that is going to be Al Jawara from the House of Lattafa. A very beautiful gourmand scent, like one of those fluffy, girly, whimsical ones, that you can wear all year round. And this thing is beastly. It's beastly. It lasts like at least 12 hours on skin, on clothes. It projects, it fills up a room, after maturation. This is performing wonderfully. So Al Jawara from the House of Lattafa to me is a complete solid 10 over 10. The next one I have is going to be from, why do I keep saying from the house of, when I'm just doing one particular house? And this is going to be one of the latest releases. I was super excited to get this. I'm not disappointed at all. Hair Confessions by Lattafa, duping or inspired by Blanche Bet. This is amazing. Like a one-to-one in terms of, clone fragrances or inspired by fragrances. It cannot get any better. It cannot. So this is like about a week, in my collection now, and every single day I try it. The closer it gets to the OG, even from day one, it was like that good, with the milky nuances, the woody nuances, the creamy tuberose, a sort of, creamy sandalwood sort of base to wear. This is beautiful. It is woody, milky, vanillic, sweet, but not like your sickeningly sweet, nauseating milk. It doesn't give me anything nauseating. The milk here is well done, well balanced with the jasmine, the mahogany, the tuberose, other florals and the woods, making it like a very solid composition. It doesn't give me anything, like mediocre. Nothing mediocre about this at all. Very well composition, and I love this. So this to me, Hair Confession, is a solid 10 over 10, in my books. The next one I'm going to talk about is one that I don't have it here, but I think it deserves to be here. I have the original, I have the full bottle, and this is Masa from of course the House of Lattafa. This is Masa, fashion after Gaimed, but with the addition or the twist of a mango, nuance to it. Was one of those fragrances I struggled with from the beginning, but after sitting for a while, it is one of the best leather, tear rubber, as some people would describe it, like a very rich leather accord, not accord, it has the note of leather, in the note structure, with the mango and that metallic, mountain air mineral accord, making it different, unique, not everybody's cup of tea. It sort of leans slightly masculine, it's leans sort of, masculine, but to me it is perfectly unisex that a lot of women can also wear. So Masa to me, if you get it for the first time and you don't like it, please do not dismiss it, right away. Just let it sit for, a few weeks, because mine had to sit for like a few months before it's really grown into its own, developed into a point where I think it is a solid 10 over 10. Masa from Lattafa, a huge thumbs up, that I would highly recommend. if you don't have the patience to wait on it, you might, write it off. But I think it is one of those that deserves, a little more time for it to be appreciated, a lot more better. And once you get to that point, it is absolutely a beautiful 10 over 10. The next one I have here is going to be Liam Gray. And in this scenario, I'm going to add antique also from the Pride collection, but that is like the more expensive version, whilst this one is the more affordable version. Nonetheless, this and antique are beautiful, identical one-to-one, interpretation of Gray Chanel by BDK. This is beautiful. It's a powdery black tea and some fig, it's like fresh, powdery, sort of, musky green tea, refreshing, sort of, spa-like feel to me. But somehow I prefer this on men, in as much as I love the scent and I've tried loving it myself, I sort of prefer this on men. It gives me a very warm, feel of a very matured man, giving you a warm hug. That is what this one feels to me. It is a solid 10 over 10. This one, and then antique, also from the niche, Emirati line. Beautiful. I find no difference between this and that, very identical. You don't need to own both of these fragrances. And this is the more affordable alternative to antique, but if you just want the antique for the bottle, as a collector's piece, why not? But this is beautiful, solid. It doesn't give me anything screechy, nothing cheap smelling about it. The scent profile is amazing. A solid 10 over 10. The next one I have is going to be from an oldie, it's going to be an oldie, and this is Amir Al Oud Intense. Some of the fragrances I didn't want to include in this because I didn't want, a lot of my videos to be repetitive, although it doesn't matter if, if it's a 10 over 10, then I need to include it, but this is good. Amir Al Oud Intense, for the price you're paying for this currently, less than $20 on so many websites. It is a good deal. It is a good deal. It is strong but not overwhelming. The scent profile is delicious. Vanilla, woods, sugar, some smoky nuances here. This is beautiful. It is gourmand without being overwhelmingly sweet, but it is good. It is, people describe this as grounding, and I didn't understand what they meant by, it is a grounding sort of fragrance, but I now get it, I now understand what people mean when they say this, like some fragrances are grounding, and I find that in Amir Al Oud Intense, and to me, it is a solid, not 9.5, not 9.9, a solid 10 over 10 with the scent profile, the experience, everything solid, the price point solid. And I think the last one here, I think I hope I'm not missing anything. The last one I have here is going to be Udan from Lattafa, and this is beautiful. This, I'm surprised by the juice after maceration, because I was expecting this juice to get, funkier and woody and oody and, a lot more Middle Eastern after maceration, but it has not. As a matter of fact, the more it stays in my collection, the less intense it becomes, the sweeter it becomes, the more mass appealing this becomes, the more, the less woody it becomes, the less animalic it becomes. There's something about this, I was expecting it because the initial sprays were quite, loud and a bit obnoxious and out there. But the longer it stays, which for me, it's about 6 or so months, the longer it stays, the more mass appealing it becomes, because this wasn't supposed to be that mass appealing, woody fragrance. But the longer it stays in my collection, the more mass appealing, the more sweeter, the more you get, the woods, I think the cinnamon, the spice, it's getting a lot more, softer and a lot more mass appealing for some reason. And this is beautiful. If you like woods, I don't even get woods anymore. I get like more woods, some, I think it has some cedar or sandalwood. I'm not too sure, but it's like a blend of two woods, woods and then some spice and some sweetness. It is like ambery, resonant, thick, rich. This is beautiful. The composition is unique. It doesn't come across as a lot of the ones that we know about, although I would say it is getting a lot more mass appealing. It is still not your most mass appealing one. There's something quite unique about Udan that I would I would just say a lot of people need to experience this for themselves, but this is a solid 10 out of 10 to me. And I think these are 10 fragrances. I hope I'm not missing anything in the list, you know? Yeah, but I think these are 10 fragrances from the house of Lattafa. I would simply describe as 10 over 10, not 9.5, not 9.9. This is 10 over 10, you know, because I like the price point, the scent profile, the quality of juice, the complement, you know, factor. Every single thing culminates into making these fragrances amazing. And that is going to be it for today. And I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.